Hello, friends. February, as you probably know, is Black History Month. Some people question why we need Black History Month. The truth is, we ought to be learning about the contributions of people of color throughout our year, not just in one month. But having Black History Month does give us the opportunity to to focus on the contributions made by African American and Black people to what is called the United States, and indeed the world, because there are many Black people who have made discoveries or created inventions that have contributed to the whole world. Some of what I did during my studies in the last couple of years at Drew University is look at the history of Black people in the Methodist Church, as one of those book titles says. It's an interesting and complicated and sometimes painful history because the issue of slavery and racism have raised their heads over and over again. John Wesley, the founder of Methodism, was opposed to slavery, and when the Methodist Church was first established in on this land in this what became the United States, the early Methodists also were opposed to slavery, but they did not stay that way, unfortunately. And ever since the early 1800s, the issues of racism in the Methodist Church have been woven in and out of the structure of the Methodist Church, its leadership, and how it has grown in this country and in other countries as well. It is, as I said, a complicated history and shocking at times. But it's important for us to learn about these things so that we can make sure that we are doing the work that we need to do to rid the United Methodist Church of racism, because it still exists in the United Methodist Church as it does everywhere else. This is not easy for many of us who are white. Sometimes we can't see the racism that exists unless we have experienced it ourselves. We don't know what it feels like. And so there are many, many, many resources. As you see here, some of these books are old, but some of them are newer. The Color of Compromise, The Black Church, these are newer books. The book right at the bottom here, I'm Black, I'm Christian, and I'm Methodist, shares stories of Black people in the Methodist Church or at the edge of the Methodist Church. I encourage you to do what you can to read about Black history and about Black people who are influencing our country and our culture right now, and about the ways that it has been a terrible struggle many times because of the racism that exists in this country to this day. And then let us do the best that we can to rid ourselves of racism. It hides out in corners of our hearts and minds, unbeknownst to us at times. And to rid the United Methodist Church of racism and to rid our country. As you may know, it is continuing to be a cancer across this country. At the beginning of this very month, there were, I think, 20 bomb threats, maybe more, against historically Black colleges and universities. None of them came to fruition, thank God, but people, men identifying themselves as Nazis in some cases, and certainly as racists, are continuing to cause harm. I pray for the day when racism will be eradicated from our nation and from our world. Until then, let's each do our own part in making sure that we live out Jesus' calling to love one another truly. May peace and blessing and love be with you, and let's keep on learning about this world, about the contributions of Black people and African Americans and people of color, and let's keep doing our own work to make it better so that there is equality and justice for all. Amen.